Certainly. Below is a long-form story in English based on the title Barnacles and Parasites No More. Polar Bear Freed. Barnacles and Parasites No More. Polar Bear Freed. The Arctic was a vast expanse of white, stretching endlessly in all directions. The wind howled across the frozen landscape, carrying the bitter chill of the north. In this harsh yet breathtaking world, a lone polar bear named Twak roamed, his massive paws crunching through the ice as he searched for food. But something was wrong. Tuak was not as strong as he once was. His once thick fur was patchy, his movements sluggish. Something clung to him. Dark, unnatural growths latched onto his thick coat and skin, making it difficult for him to swim, hunt, and even walk. These were not mere clumps of ice. They were parasites, barnacles, and invasive sea creatures that had attached themselves to his body over time. Once a mighty hunter of seals, Tuak now struggled to survive. Each dive into the frigid waters felt heavier, each step on the ice more painful. His body was no longer just his own. It carried unwanted passengers that drained his strength. A silent, suffering Tuak had once been the ruler of his icy domain. He had fought off rivals, swum great distances in search of food, and survived the cruel winters. But now he was growing weaker. The barnacles and parasites covering his body sapped his energy, making him a shadow of his former self. Other animals in the Arctic sensed his struggle. The seals that once feared him now watched him from a distance, knowing he was no longer a serious threat. The Arctic foxes that scavenged his kills found fewer remains to pick at. Even the great birds of the north circled above him, waiting for the inevitable. Despite his pain, Tuak continued his search for food. He needed to survive. He needed to be free. A team of hope. Far away, a group of scientists and conservationists monitored the Arctic wildlife. Their mission was to study the effects of climate change and pollution on animals like Tuak. When they spotted him through their drones and satellite images, they were shocked. A polar bear covered in barnacles and parasites? It was unheard of. "This bear needs help," said Dr. Layla Jensen, the lead scientist. "If we don't act fast, he won't make it through the next winter." The team quickly organized a rescue mission. It was dangerous work. Polar bears were powerful and unpredictable creatures, but Tuak was in desperate need. The rescue operation. The scientists tracked Tuak's movements for days, waiting for the right moment. When he wandered near the edge of the ice floe, they acted. A helicopter flew low, a tranquilizer dart fired from a distance. Tuak roared in surprise but soon fell into a deep sleep. Carefully, the team approached him. Up close, they could see the true extent of his suffering. His fur was matted with barnacles, parasites dug deep into his skin, and infections had started to spread. One by one, they removed the invaders. The barnacles were pried off, the parasites carefully extracted. Tuak's wounds were cleaned, and medicine was applied. His body, once weighed down, was finally free. "This should help him recover," Dr. Jensen said as they monitored his breathing. "He just needs time." With a final injection to help him wake up, the team retreated. Freedom at last. Hours later, Tuak stirred. His body felt different, lighter. The itching and pain were gone. As he stood, he shook himself, sending bits of ice and snow flying. Then, with renewed strength, he took a step forward, then another. He sniffed the air and caught the scent of the sea. Without hesitation, he moved toward the water, diving into the icy waves. He swam, faster and stronger than he had in months. The ocean embraced him once more, not as a burdened, suffering creature, but as a true ruler of the Arctic. From a distance, the scientists watched. "He made it," one of them whispered. Dr. Jensen smiled. "Barnacles and parasites no more. He's free." And so, under the Arctic sun, Tuak swam into the horizon, reclaiming the life that had been stolen from him. The Arctic had its hunter back. Would you like any modifications to the story?